think we're rolling. Top of the
Perfect.
morning to you.
Top of the morning. Yes.
Guess it's Wednesday.
Wednesday, April 23rd. Yeah, getting there.
Still ski season.
Still ski season. Still open. Yeah.
We like it.
Yeah, the chairs are still running. The closing day is this Sunday. But that's just the last day of the chairs spinning. But then Monday starts the first day of skin season.
At Stowe Mountain Resort.
Yeah.
And abroad.
And abroad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't. We like to travel, but you know we're talking local here. Stowe, Vermont.
Yep. Yep.
USA. Green Mountains.
But yeah, I think that's pretty exciting. I mean, I don't know. That just means the whole mountain starts to open on up, which is pretty awesome. You can kind of start to peek around everywhere and farm the good snow a little bit better instead of just being forced to go over to Spruce Peak. Not forced, but you know what I mean.
It's nice to have options.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's nice to have options. Yep.
Yeah. Perry Merrill's nice. We have an intimate relationship, but
Yeah.
nosedive as well. And
Yep.
yeah, we had a good sesh last week up on Spruce. That was kind of fun.
It's great.
Quick after work lab.
That's
You did a
great.
couple up there.
Did a couple. Yeah.
Seems to be the hot spot, the party zone.
Yep. Yep. It's good. Oh yeah. Speaking of parties, Nosedive Bar is not this coming weekend, but the weekend after that, the Saturday. So
Talk to me about that. I don't know. what
Nosedive
that
Bar.
is.
Yeah.
Is that a secret, or is that, can we talk about that here?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is a unsanctioned party up on the Nosedive head wall, right on top of it, and yeah, I think just a couple local folks put it together each year, and it's always a good time. And yeah, usually just shoot for some good weather, and we've gotten super lucky the last few years. And yeah, bring your friends, your family. Maybe leave your kids at home, but yeah, it's always a good time.
Cool. Nice. Being a little cryptic about it, so I guess it's not officially a
Definitely
sanctioned event. So I guess you kind of have to catch it when it happens. So
Definitely not a sanctioned event.
go get up there every day, and maybe you'll catch it.
Yeah.
Bring some hydration with you if you're into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. That sounds like fun.
Yep.
Yeah. The it's starting to feel like beach weather up on Playa del Spruce.
It is definitely turning into beach weather. Yeah. Stuff starting to, the snow line's starting to recede a little bit. Some big holes are starting to come on out. Water starting to drain underneath.
Some glide cracks here and there.
Yeah, big time.
Gotta jump them.
Big time. But
Yep.
it is hanging on surprisingly well. And where there is snow, there's still a lot of snow. So
Yeah.
the ski season continues and lives on.
We're almost into May, and yeah, there's most of the trails, at least from afar, appear to be 90% covered still. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I've been seeing some folks in short shorts up there, and that's all they're wearing: short shorts and ski boots. No Dynes, classic, signature.
Yeah.
Waiting all season for this.
This is Noah's thriving season with his short shorts, and that's it.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
what's his short shorts goal right now? What's he working on?
Well, at least as of this week, he's trying to hit 100K vertical feet. And as of yesterday, he was halfway there. So today he'll be, cruising past that, and he's well on his way to achieve that goal. And I'm sure he'll grab it, no problem.
Cool.
But yeah, today. I'm sure he will be out there in short shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's certainly an outlier in the ski world.
Yeah.
Definitely something we all aspire to be. And
I think just in the world. He's an outlier.
Yeah. There's a few people that do that kind of thing. And there's ultra runners, and then there's ultra skiers. He's definitely that. Just add some weight to your feet. Not a lot of weight. I mean, he goes pretty light.
Yeah,
but.
definitely not a lot of weight. Definitely not. But he's there.
Well, we were up there the other day, and he was like, "Man, I haven't been on my skimo setup in a long time." I'm like,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. While he's on a 1100 gram setup. Yeah.
Yeah. Freakish.
Yep.
Yeah. What have you been skiing on this year?
For skis?
Yeah.
I am fortunate, and I have a few different pairs of skis. But the favorites of mine so far this year, I got the Forefront Ravens. So that's their fully rockered, reverse cambered, however you want to call it, ski 104 underfoot, and that has been a, super fun ski for me this year. I am someone who likes to sit in the middle and pivot and twist. I'm not like a drivey kind of skier by any means, and so that matches my style quite well. And yeah, it's like 1,700 something grams, and so it's heavy enough for me to go inbounds and ski and have a good time. But yeah, that's been more my drivey inbound ski, and then the wndralpine, the Intention 108 and the Vinyl 98 for my backcountry setups. So
you have those in reverse camber too, right?
All reverse cambered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Robbie's got a type.
Yeah, I figured out my type and I'm sticking to it. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I like a light, heavily cambered, snappy, twitchy little ski.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what I like.
Yeah.
Yeah. My high school sweetheart touring ski is the Rossignol BC 120.
Yeah,
kind of ridiculous. But I got that here, like
Yeah?
a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I call it my camel's hump ski. It's got a nice fat shovel, like 90 at the waist, and super cambered. It's a backcountry. It's like a backcountry ski with a wax base, like alpine base. So
Yeah.
I used to take that up nosedive all the time.
Hell yeah.
That was fun. Carves nicely, but yeah, I've really fallen into the Black Diamond ski world. I'm loving their stuff. Like the last 5 or 6 years of their skis have been fantastic. Ever since they really moved to like the Blizzard factory in Austria. I started with their Boundary Pro 100, and that was just such a Spartan, brutal, stiff, heavy monster. And that was my first touring setup, and I had Duke frame bindings on it and
Hell yeah.
big, heavy head race boots.
Yeah.
Come a long way since then.
Perfect setup.
Yeah. I really, really have been liking the last couple seasons the Heliocarbon 104.
Yeah.
That's just been an awesome ski. I think that's such a good width for backcountry. Yeah, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
And then moved into the Cirque 78.
Yeah.
Got that for lastskierstanding. And
It's a fun ski.
It's a cool ski. It's a lot snappier than the Fischer Transalp Carbon that I had, 82.
Yeah.
More flexible, but I was just able to straight line on that.
Oh yeah.
That was great. It's very controllable.
There you go.
Yep. And then the Impulse. Not a lot of people know about the Impulse, but Impulse TI, favorite ski.
There you
Hands
go.
down. Yeah, it's a blaster. It is a bulldozer of a ski, but it's light enough. You can tour with it. I use it as like my 80-20 resort setup.
Yep.
If I want to hit the side country, and find myself in a situation where I need to be able to skin out of, if I get myself into trouble.
Yeah.
I like that. So I have some Duke PTs on that setup.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
That is a blaster setup.
It's a polarizing binding, though. I don't know. I know you have your thoughts about it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But, I don't know. Every binding has the person that it needs to go to. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I've only toured on it twice.
That sounds the right amount for
exactly.
that setup.
Yep. It'll never be the thing I reach for if I want to go for a tour, but
yeah,
it was fun.
But every once in a while.
Yeah, the walk mode works fine.
That's what you need.
It's heavy, but it's fine. It's all good.
That's what you need sometimes.
Yeah. But it is April 23rd, and I'm going to be packing my skis up soon. So we're going to plug our next segment here.
Yep. Putting away your skis. And boots and skins. All the things. And how to do it properly.
Take care of your stuff, TLDR.
Take care of your stuff.
Here's how to do it.
Yeah. And we say this because in the fall, when you bring your stuff on in, and it's covered in dirt and mud, and your skins have no glue on them left, and they got all gooped up, and they got all parking lot dirt in them, and you want us to re-glue them. This is going to be a way to save all those things and save frustration, save broken parts, and just try and save you a little bit of money and time and hassle. So the first thing is skins and how to put those away. And so springtime is some of the worst and harshest conditions for all of your equipment. So skis, boots, skins. But skins take a super big beating. They're getting damp a lot. They're getting hot. There's a bunch of dirt and grit and grime everywhere. And so making sure that you're drying out your skins after every single skin. And so taking them out of your backpack, taking them out of your car, hanging them on a chair, a railing, whatever. Let the glue dry out, let the mohair or the nylon dry out, and just only for like an hour, and close those suckers right back up, and then put them in a dark, cool spot.
So you're saying peel them apart. Let that glue and that plush, both sides, full length of the skin, be exposed to the air.
Yep.
Preferably out of sunlight.
Yep.
Cool, dry location.
Cool, dry location.
Right next to your cereal and all your other sundries in your pantry.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then, do that every single time, but especially if you're going to be storing them for long periods of time, and long periods of time being, more than 3-4 days. And so, do that, dry them out, stick them back together, put them in a cool, dry spot. And keep them there for all summer. You don't want to leave your skins in the car. You don't want to leave them in the attic. You don't want to leave them near the fireplace, the furnace, whatever. Keep them in a cool, dry place. And now skins are the weakest link always of the skinning system. And so even if you do everything right, your skins are still probably going to fail. And what I mean is the glue is probably going to goop up and die at some point. And I've had skins last me half a season. I've had skins last me 7 years. And so there's no rhyme or reason sometimes. It's just you get a bad batch of glue, or just one time you left them in the car and it's game over. But if you do those couple things, especially in the springtime, you might, get another season out of them.
Yeah, it's tough when, there's 24 hours in a day, right? We're awake for 8 to 10 of them, right? And another 8 to 10 of those we're at work, so we're working all the time. And when we do get out to play, that's sacred time. And we want to maximize the amount of time we're playing, and so we'll sacrifice the important parts of allowing us to do it repeatedly, and that's taking care of your stuff. Oftentimes our stuff takes the brunt of our neglect in favor of fun, which makes us have less fun. So, skiing's an investment, but in financial terms, you need to protect that investment with proactive steps, just like your health.
Yeah.
You have health, and your skis have health. I'm kind of derailing here, but
take care of your skins, especially with the skinflation. It's brutal out there.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I've had a pair of G3 skins for 5 or 6 years now, and it's starting to get a little tacky on the glue, but they still work because I try to take care of them. And it's one of those things that's expensive and can easily get ruined right away, like with one use, or if you're conscientious about it, they can last you multiple pairs of skis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. I've had one pair of skins go on 4 different sets of skis, and started with a really wide ski and just have slowly been trimming it down.
That's smart.
And so
like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. But skins. Take care of your skins. You don't want to have to keep buying new skins every single season. It's brutal. What else? Skis. So skis, kind of same deal. You're skiing over grit, grime, dust, dirt, all that crap. Brutal on your ski bases, ripping off wax, destroying edges, all that stuff. For your skis, you can bring them on in for an end of season tune. And so if you know for sure that it is your last day skiing, like no more, you're done, the season is over for you, and wait until you're absolutely 100% sure that that is happening, because we all know you do your end season tune and then someone, tells you, be like, all right, nosedive bar, it's coming up, let's go. So definitely wait until the very end for this.
That's when you come in and rent a touring setup from MountainOps in Stowe, Vermont.
Yeah, exactly. Then you rent one of ours, destroy some of our skis. But at the end of the season, when you're done, bring it on in, and to end of season tune, what it's going to look like is you might as well get the full tune. And what I mean by that is we flatten out your bases, we put a new pattern in there, we reset the base bevel, we reset the side edge, knock off all those burrs and give it a nice hot wax. But this time we layer on that hot wax a little bit thicker than we normally do, and we don't scrape it. We don't really scrape anymore anyways because of the Mountain Flow infrared waxer, but this time we'll actually lay it on a little bit thicker and just keep it there. And what that does is it just kind of locks in that moisture over the summertime. It doesn't allow your bases to dry out, but it's also not allowing grit and grime and dust from your house to seep into those little cracks of your skis over the summertime. That way, when fall comes around, you can bring them on back in. We'll scrape all that wax off for free. And you can, you're up and ready to go. You don't need to sharpen your edges. You don't need a new pattern. You don't need anything. You are just set and ready to go. And this is huge just because over the whole season, you are leaving skin wax on there. You're getting dirt and grit and grime. You might have core shots a year, keep on delaying off, and you might as well fix all those issues and those problems when you're not going skiing. And then you're ready to go for next season. So, yeah, it's a good investment.
There's a lot of components and engineering that goes into a ski, right? You have your top sheet, you have the layup with wood and fiberglass and carbon and metal, and then you have your metal edges, and then you have your PTEX base. All those different components need different, all have different needs. It's like starting with your bases, right? That's a porous material that will absorb what's laying on it. So if you just go out and ski slush and then put your skis in the closet or the garage all season, that's minute particulate matter is going to embed itself into that base and cause imperfections, and that's going to need more work in the fall, and that's going to just decrease the life of your ski overall. Every time we have to take it in and do work on it, that's removing material from that ski, and that's what's needed in order to keep it fresh and preserve it. But if it's an abused or a neglected ski that has been allowed to sit and collect rust on the edges and let dirt seep in, and maybe you have a ding in your top sheet and there's wood and fiberglass exposed, allowing moisture to seep in there. As soon as moisture gets into that ski and then it freezes on your first ski of the season, it's going to expand and crack and destroy that ski. So taking those steps to bring your ski in, or you can do the work yourself as well, but taking those steps at the end of the season to make sure that your ski is going to have a nice hibernation over the summer, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's like, to that point too, it's a great time to bring your stuff on in for us to check over your skis. Like, you might not notice a blown edge. You might not notice that 3 of your 4 screws on your toe piece are loose and stripped. We take that as a time to be like, all right, let's really check over this setup and make sure everything is running smooth for next season. And if there is issues, we can solve them over the summertime versus that first snow in October. We get 10, 12 inches on the mountain and you want to go skinning.
Mega. Don't miss that.
Yeah. And then you're screwed because something's broken on your ski. So let's fix those problems now versus waiting. And so it's huge. And we will be doing in September, we will be doing a clinic on how to do some at-home maintenance, how to check your skis, at-home skin maintenance. We'll be doing either a clinic or 2 about that stuff. How to scrape your skis, how to wax your skis, how to detune your edges, skin maintenance, all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, in September.
Cool.
But
looking forward to that.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know much about the technical side of tuning and ski maintenance until I got into the industry and realized, oh wow, this is complex, but it can be simplified.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just take care of your stuff and ask questions. And you know, we're not always going to push everybody into the premium tune. You know, sometimes all you need is just a side edge and a buff wax. And you know, we're skiers. We love skiing, and we want other people to enjoy it as well. And so, you know, we're just here to help facilitate that. And another thing too, if anything, taking care of your edges. You know, if you have dinged out edges and things like that, or you've stored your skis in your car and you notice that you have rust building up on the edges there, that's only going to propagate throughout the summer if you leave that there. And that is literally your edge material deteriorating and pitting and being eaten away by moisture and oxygen. And what that does is when we go in to tune that edge, it's going to be pitted out, and if it's left to really rust. So taking care of that rust right away is super important as well. You can do that at home with a diamond stone if you want. But that's another thing that I see on some folks' skis. We had this gal come in the other day to rent some boots for her race skis, and they were just so brutally so rusted. She hadn't skied on them in a year or two, and I just threw them on and did a quick side edge and took the stone to the base to clean them up and gave her a quick wax with the boot rental, and she was stoked. So
yeah, no, it's brutal, man. Yeah, lots of rust. It's not fun to ski on.
Not good for anything. You get tetanus.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But that's skis. Like I said, we can go into more detail about that stuff in September. But get your skis tuned now. Let us check your skis out before it gets too bad. Other stuff that you can maintain and bring it on in over the summertime is bindings. And so bindings, you know, they are the only part of the system that you are attached to. Like your foot goes into the binding. So making sure that it's working safe and properly, especially these tech bindings, making sure that your toe and your heel are all lined up. These things require grease and maintenance. So ATK taught us how to maintain all of their bindings and check them. And so if you did buy any ATK bindings from us, bring them on in, let us inspect them over the summertime, let us re-grease a lot of the parts on there and make sure that they are working properly, especially on the East Coast. Like East Coast is brutal on bindings, brutal on grease, with all that salt and grit and grime. Like it just eats away at that stuff. And so let us check that stuff over the summertime, bring it on in. It's worth taking a peek at. If you have any of the free raiders or raiders now, or even the RT11s with their DIN toes, you might as well make sure that DIN toe is working. You bought it because you wanted that releasability. Not DIN toes, release value toes.
Good catch.
And so you might as well make sure that's working properly. There's no point in having that release value up front if it's not working smoothly. And so come on in, let us inspect them and check them out. And so worth the investment on that. Boots, make sure you dry out your liners. It is springtime, it's hot. You're probably skiing in shorts, so your liners are getting absolutely soaked and drenched.
Nasty,
disgusting. Take out your liners after every single use. Let them dry on out in the springtime. Don't let your boots get stank foot. Stuff doesn't dry out here on the East Coast, so you have to force it into drying out. And so take those liners out, make sure they're good to go for the next day, but then especially over the summertime on that last day of the season for you, make sure they're dried out. Take out your footbeds, make sure those are dried out. Mm-hmm. Do not let that stuff sit for months being soaked in your damp, dirty basement. clean off all the dirt, the dust, all that stuff. Don't let rocks and grit and grime get into those tech fittings and just sit there and hold on to moisture, because your tech fittings, again, it's the only point of your foot that's touching the binding, and so you might as well make sure that those screws and those stuff is not rusty as well. That way you're releasing properly.
Taking the 20 minutes to check over and clean up your skis is much quicker than 6 to 8 months of rehab because you've suffered a spiral tibia fracture or blown out your ACL because you didn't check over your bindings.
Yeah,
so
no one wants
do that. Yeah.
And the biggest thing too, my biggest pet peeve for boots is making sure that they are buckled up. Do not let them sit over the summertime with the buckles and everything just blown wide open. And so touring boots, especially the lighter ones, there's not a lot of plastic to them. And so if you just let that plastic sit unbuckled, it's going to want to wander and open up and blossom. And so keep those things buckled, latch them in. You don't need to crazy latch them on and like super tight. In fact, you don't want to do that. You just want a light buckle just so that the plastic keeps its shape. And now
just the first notch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't need to be crazy, but just make sure that they're latched. It's going to make your next season in the fall a lot easier to get into, a lot less frustrating. It will, reconnect its shape eventually during the next season, but why let that be frustrating right off the bat? And so,
yeah, I had some folks come in who had boots, but they needed to rent skis, and I could just tell that those boots had never been buckled unless they were on the people's feet. And the tongue of the liner was sandwiched in between the two layers on the shell, and it was tough to get it back buckled, much less make sure all the tongue and the sides of the liner and the cuffs on the boot and then the lower shell were all overlapping the right way. It's really easy to buckle it up the wrong way where it's actually going to warp the plastic. So just take 5 minutes and do that. And yeah, to Robbie's point, when you take your liners out, take the footbeds out too. There's a dark area between the footbed and the boot liner where nasty stuff, unspeakable things can grow and form. And yeah, it'll make it dry faster too.
You dry faster, feet will stink less.
Yep.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Have you ever been at the Opry and you just can't get this stink out of your nose and you're wondering, man, is this me? Is that me? Do I stink?
Yes.
And everybody else around you is like, what's that smell? Well, son, it's your boots. Take your boot liners out.
Yeah.
You're going to make a commercial.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah. Yeah. We rip out a lot of liners doing boot fitting, and yeah, it's very easy to tell who dries their liners and who doesn't. Absolutely.
Don't be that person.
No. But no, other than that, like, if you remember anything from this video or us preaching, it is dry your stuff off. Don't let it rust. Clean your stuff off. Don't let it sit in dirt. And that's pretty much it. Dry and clean.
Yep. If you don't want to pay for a ski tune at the end of the season, at the minimum, just dry your stuff off, wipe it off with a rag, store it away nicely.
Yeah, dry and clean.
Dry and clean.
And that's it.
Yep.
Yep. That's
What
all
else?
I got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we got 5 minutes. Do we want to do a brand spotlight or?
Sure. We can do a brand spotlight.
Cool. Nerona.
You saw what came in yesterday. I wasn't here yesterday. I don't know. What do we got in the table?
I have no idea what came in, but it all looks good. I was thinking just talking about Nerona high level. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Nerona is a Norwegian company that's been in the game for decades, I think since the early 1900s. And they're still family owned in Norway, and they're making some of the best technical clothing and apparel for the mountains. They have probably their most popular is their Lofoten line, free ride ski gear, Gore-Tex Pro shell gear, fantastic, extremely durable, breathable, the whole spiel. It's fantastic stuff. I like to say they're the new Arc'teryx. I feel like, just in terms of quality and brand reputation, I think they're really, really taking the world stage as one of those brands that's the best in the business. Moving into the warmer months, they have a Senja line, Senja, that focuses on trail and mountain running. So they have running vests, they have super lightweight, breathable running apparel. Yeah, they're doing it really well. And I think if you don't know about them, go on Google and look up Neurona. Go to mountainopsvt.com. Check our website and see what we got. Yeah, some of the best stuff out there. I think my favorite piece by them is their More Octa 60 pullover. I wear that almost every day. It's great. It's good stuff. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, make some good stuff. Well, that's all I got.
Cool. I'm going to drink this coffee now.
Exciting.
Sweet. Well, thanks, folks. How can they get in touch with us?
You can give us a call at 802-253-4531. You can come into the shop at 4081 Mountain Road in Stowe, or visit our website at mountainopsvt.com. Feel free to reach out on social. I'll try and respond if I'm on there. But yeah, those are all the ways to contact. We primarily like seeing your faces the best, though. So come on in, check it out. Yeah, we'll see you soon.
Cool. All right. Bye, everybody.